Alright guys, so in this video we're going to be talking about sales strategies, and keep this in mind and pay very close attention to videos like this because sales is going to be the most important part of this business. If you can't sell your product, you're never going to make any money. So I would honestly rather you be good at sales than be good at the performing the actual ads part. But of course you got to keep the clients, so you got to be good at both. But the sales is the most important part. If you never get the sales down, you're never going to make any money. So pay very close attention, because keep this in mind, like, you guys the first only care about the sales, okay? Don't even worry about, like, you need to know how to do everything. That's why I have this all together, because you're going to watch this whole thing and you're going to know this business inside and out. So if somebody asks you a question in the sales meeting, you're going to be able to answer that, and you're going to show yourself as an expert, because if you don't know everything, you're not going to be showing yourself as an expert. So if you're not new to sales, you already have a sales experience, this video might be a little bit boring to you. You can skip ahead if you want to, but anyone that's brand new to sales, like I was at the beginning, this is very important. You guys are going to need to listen very closely. Even if you do have a little bit of sales experience, this still might benefit you quite a bit. So make sure you guys listen closely, and let's get right into this video. This might drag out a little bit, but all of this is going to be so important because I want to save you guys as much time as possible, because I wasted a couple months myself. And keep this in mind, you're going to be bad at sales at first, no matter what. I can tell you, I could teach you everything, you're still going to be bad because you're going to need practice, okay? Don't expect yourself to be good at sales in 2 weeks. It doesn't happen, okay? People get better at sales over years. And even after a couple months, like 2-3 months, you're going to be really good at sales. You'll start to like see the improvement. But like, just like working out, you're not going to expect amazing results in a couple weeks, guys. So don't push yourself too hard. Don't put yourself down if you're doing really bad in the first couple meetings, okay? That's something that happened to me. You might not close your first couple meetings. Just consider them as practice, because this is a long-term business. This is to change your life forever, okay? This is taking the place of college for you, or whatever kind of situation you're in your current job, so that you can work from home. This is a long-term play. This is not just like make money fast kind of thing. If you already have sales experience, you can make money really fast. But if you don't have sales experience, you're going to be able to use sales skills for the rest of your life, not just social media marketing. It literally applies to everything in your entire life, whether it's getting girls, if you are a girl, getting guys. You guys know how it is, okay? So let's get right into this video, because this is a very important one and probably one of the most valuable ones in this course right now. So the first thing I want to go over is the straight line explanation. So if you don't know already, the straight line persuasion is a course made by Jordan Belfort, and that's where I get this idea from. And I'm going to put a link down to that course below, because that's something I personally took like a couple months into my social media marketing business, and it helps me immensely. So I want to put a link down to that below in case you guys think it would help you. But let me give you an explanation of the straight line. And in the next video, like you might be able to see here, we're gonna go over a real estate cold call together, so you can see a real life explanation of the straight line. Um, so what is the straight line? So I'm gonna try to explain it best as I can, um, but basically, let's try to draw it out here. Let's draw a little like straight line. So we have the line here. This is the end. This is the beginning. Okay. This is the situation with you guys. This is the start. This is when you first talk to the client from here. And this is when you actually make the close, okay? The whole time, your goal is to keep the client on this line. So you could try to keep them a straight line, straight from the beginning to the end, the sale. But if they start, what's going to happen is they're going to throw in objections. They're going to try to talk about something else. They're going to try to talk about their day. But your job is to keep them on a straight line. And you'll understand what I mean in here in a second. So like, when I go over this video, it's gonna make so much sense to you guys, because he does the straight line so perfectly in this cold call video. So if you don't understand something right now, the way I'm explaining it, just be patient, and you're gonna be able to understand it shortly. So basically, this is the beginning of the sale. This is the end of the sale. You guys might think that sales is a process, okay? You're gonna think that it's just a process. Like, you're building rapport, and then like you contact them the first time, you're building your trust, you're like just BSing with them, like you're becoming their friend, and then from there you're kind of going to the meeting. So this is kind of the process that you guys are probably thinking of when you think about the sales process. You go through here, you qualify them. Like, you're gonna do this. You're gonna connect with them. You're gonna qualify them. You're going to evaluate their decision, etc. You're going to go through like you're going to initiate contact, identify their needs, present an offer, manage objections, close the sale. Um, See, like this is a good one because this one's a circle. Okay, this is actually a good one. So most of you guys are gonna think that it's not a circle. Like when I first started sales, I didn't realize that it's not like a circle. And it's a straight, like you'll understand here in a second. So don't be confused if you're new to sales, okay? And if you guys are experienced in sales, don't judge me because I'm not gonna say I'm a sales expert or anything. I'm not the best at teaching it yet. I'm getting better. This is my first time teaching sales, but I do have pretty good experience with it. If you guys want, I'm gonna try to record one of my sales calls sometimes so you guys can watch it. But I do apologize, my sales like teaching skills is not the best, but I'm gonna get there. So with that said, you guys might think, this is what I thought at first at least, you think you're going to prospect them, you're going to initiate contact, you're going to identify their needs. Like initiate contact, you're going to be like talking to them, kind of like talking about their weather or something like that to like build their relationship with them. And then you think you're going to like figure out what they need and kind of qualify them. And then you're going to present them with your service, and then they're going to be like, oh, it's too expensive, and then you're going to answer that, and then you're going to close. No, it's not like that. It goes in a, it's like, this is a constant thing. It's not it's not like a process like A to Z. You're not going to just do a close. It's going to be like it's going to be you're going to be doing all of these things throughout the entire process, okay? And you'll understand more when I tell you like the process of the actual meeting, because I have a process that you guys can follow when you actually make your first meeting, and that's going to be another video. I literally have the exact questions you ask in the meeting, and some really good tips for you guys. But basically what's going to happen is you're going to be doing all of those things this entire process. And what's going to happen is they're going to start getting off the track. They're going to try to start talking about something else. They're going to come up here, and your job is to bring them back on the line and get them to the end point. So they're going to start going off track, start talking about their vacation coming up, and you need to be like politely just like get them back. Like you always let them listen. You always listen to what they're saying, and you give a good response back. Like if they're talking about their trip to Cancun, it's like, oh, wish I could go to Cancun, and then you follow up with the next step in your like, oh, I wish I could go to Cancun, and then you ask like the next question that's in your sales process, and then you can like maybe ask like, oh, so what do you think about this plan to get them back on track? You always got to be nice about it, but you gotta keep them on this line. Hopefully that makes a little bit sense. You're gonna understand it so much better when I show you guys this video. So I'll explain it more there, but let's get to the next one. So the main thing over anything when you're doing sales is the confidence, because if you're confident in your things, and also another thing I have to go over here as well in the straight line explanation is the main things that you need to know and the main things you need to portray to the client. So you need to portray yourself as 1, an expert in your field, 2, enthusiastic as hell, and 3, sharp as a tack. So to do these things, you're going to be doing that through the entire process. And if you're missing one of those things, it's going to be a lot harder to make the sale. Those are just 3 things to keep in mind that Jordan Belfort talks about in his course. He also talks about the 3 10s that you have to make the sale. And those are 1, the client trusting you. They have to give a 10 to how much they trust you. They have to give a 10 to what you're selling them, your business. Like your product needs to be a 10 the way you explain it to them, and you're also the business that you're working for has to be a 10. But luckily, if you guys are in your own agency, yourself and the business is basically going to be the same, so you only have to worry about 2 of those, them trusting you and them trusting the product that you're selling. And you got to get them both to a 10, and eventually they're not going to close until they are a 10 on you and they're a 10 on your product. So basically what's going to happen is as you're going down this line, you're going to find that you may be at an 8 or a 7, and they're going to give some kind of objection as to why they're not going to buy. So what you're going to do throughout this entire line is you're going to ask for the close like 3 or 4 times, okay? And then if they're not closed yet, you're going to ask again, like you're going to basically, like you might ask for the close here. As you're going along the line, you qualify them, you ask them questions, and then you explain the product to them and you give them an offer. And then they give some kind of objection. If they give an objection, that means they don't rate you as a 10 or they don't rate the product as a 10. So you're going to ask them more questions to figure out which one they're not rating as a 10 and figure out why they didn't take that first offer, okay? And you're going to explain more because they may, like if you can close here, sometimes it will happen. It's pretty rare, but sometimes you will close on the first one. Like you'll see this in this video, he's gonna ask for the close like 10 different times, okay? But he's gonna fail, and then he's not gonna give up. He's gonna answer their objections, their possible objections, and then try again. And then he's gonna fail again. And they're basically gonna say no again. And then he's gonna talk more and try to figure out what their objection is. He's not gonna just ask, what's your objection? Like he might, but he's gonna just answer them for him. Like he's gonna answer the objections before they even have the time to say the objections, if that makes sense. So he's gonna ask for close like 4 times in this video. I'm gonna show you down here. And I'm really excited for that one. So like I was saying, confidence is very key. Like you guys probably already know this, and you won't realize it until you actually do it. Confidence, to build confidence, just takes practice. It takes yourself knowing that you're gonna do whatever it takes to get this client results. And that's how I got my first sales, is not because I was good at sales, but because I had confidence, and I would basically show that I cared about their business. And there was so much confidence in my voice that I could have just told them about anything because I was with their vision. You could tell by the way I was talking that I cared about their business and that I was going to do whatever it took to get them amazing results with their social media marketing. And once they trusted that and they trusted the product, boom, it was closed. That's how I got my first couple clients. Now I lost them because I didn't know, like I could have done better on the results side, but like I said, you guys I'm going to save you a ton of time with this course. I'm going to show you guys how to get the results side of it as well. So another thing to keep in mind when you're doing sales is put yourself in your client's shoes. Think about if a random person came up to you, you never knew him before, it's your first meeting together, and you're trying to sell them something, okay? They're not going to trust you. They have no reason to trust you. So put yourself in the client's shoes and think about what have you told them, and whether they should trust you or not based on what you told them, and think about what else you need to tell them and explain to them for them to be able to trust you, because you know that your thing is going to work, but they don't know that. You need to be able to think about what the client objections might be before they even have them, and like they might not even say their real objections, but you got to think about what have I not told them yet that might be causing them pain. And this kind of fits in with that explanation I talked about earlier. Another thing here is key. I already talked about this a little bit, but actually caring for the client is going to show a ton when you actually make sales. That's pretty self-explanatory. And then another important thing is handling objections. Later in this, I'm going to have a specific video that has a list of objections and what you can exactly say to all of them, so you guys are prepared already. I basically have a list of every objection you guys are going to get. And if you get objections, always remember them and come back the next time, because your ability to handle objections is going to make or break the sale. If you can come up with an immediate answer to every single objection, the sale is going to be so much easier, trust me. And that's why I say you're not going to get this on your first 3 sales, because you're not going to know all the objections yet. I'm going to teach you all of them, but you might not remember them. So you're going to they're going to come up with an objection, you might not have an answer. So when you go home after that meeting, think about what the answer should be. And then, like I said earlier, it takes practice. I'm not going to go over this again because I already talked about it, okay? So next video, we're going to go over this real estate call video. It's like 15 minutes long, but it's going to be definitely worth your guys' time, because I'm going to break down what exactly he's doing, and you're going to learn from someone else that's a real expert in this. And unluckily, I don't have any meetings of myself recorded yet, because every time I have a meeting with a client, it goes really good. Like I kill it in the sales meeting, but I always forget to record it. It's just a hard thing to remember to record when you got a meeting come up and you're preparing for the meeting. So I'm going to try to record one for you guys if I remember on the next one. But as of right now, I don't really have too many recordings, unfortunately. But I'm going to try to remember best I can. So we're just going to watch his video for now. And I'll see you guys in the next video. I really hope you enjoyed this one. See you guys with this video. It's going to be a real fun one.